US fund Jane Street for manipulating Indian markets, and this is the first reaction you're hearing from SEBI on what was the rationale, what was the thought. Listen in.
The Jane Street order came today, and it is quite a shocking order with a big quantum. What is the regulator's stance against something that is so big in quantum, especially in terms of manipulation of Indian markets from a foreign player or entities like that?
So as we say always that we don't generally react on individual cases, but as a general, as I have said earlier, whenever SEBI sees violation taking place, we enter the picture, we try to correct the violation, we take enforcement action, but all our enforcement actions are without any bias, completely on merit and proportionate. So we make it a point that all of our enforcement actions fulfill these three criteria, completely on merit, without any bias, and proportionate. So I think with this, I will leave it over there, and it is for all others to judge.
Okay, so there's an entire interview there with the whole-time director that Charu has done, and she's actually joining in live for more on that conversation. Charu, the case by itself, and she's joining us live from the SEBI headquarters, by the way, right here in Mumbai, she's at the heart of where the story is unfolding right now. Charu, the response from Jane Street has been that they will dispute it. Yes, they go on to say that we will cooperate, etc., all the usual stuff, but they've started by saying that they will dispute it. How far are Indian regulators ready to go to bring Jane Street to book?
So the regulator seems to be very interested in bringing something like this to light, as we already know that the investigation had been going on since last year, and this is just an interim order. And while it already talks about impounding over 4,000 crore rupees because of the illegal gains made for over 40,000 crore rupees, what is very interesting here is that it is just an interim, that is temporary, first cut of an order. That means a final investigation and a final confirmatory order is yet to come. So the total impounding amount and the total stringent directions against these entities could be far bigger than we already know. Now, to quote what the whole-time member has already told us, whenever SEBI sees violations taking place, they enter the picture and they try to correct the violation. Enforcement actions are without bias, and because they cannot really talk about these specific investigations. They have already spoken about how to tackle these situations on behalf of the regulator. Now, apart from this, it is also very important to understand that this is a foreign-based entity which was entering into the Indian markets in terms of the FNO and manipulating the scene, which was something which was completely unacceptable by the Indian regulator. Another thing is that the order also talks about the urgency in the matter. Why an interim order was passed? Because despite cautions from the National Stock Exchange and the regulator, the entities like Jane Street and its related entities and associated entities continued their egregious behavior as far as and as recently as May 2025, and that is why an interim order was brought in place, and that is why the whole-time member has also spoken to us about it, calling it the sort of violation that it is.
Charu, just breathe a little and tell us one more thing. Now, we heard one of the things that that happened in the interview, but I heard the officials say that we do not comment on individual matters, but wherever there are violations seen, we'll step in. What else? I mean, we are just requesting you to give us a sneak peek into your interview, which will play out just a bit later on. But what else did the officials say about what happens next? I mean, the point that Tamanna also asked, is SEBI willing to go the whole hog because Jane Street arguably will contest this?
See, it will contest it, but what happens from the legal point of view is that whenever there is an order from the Securities and Exchange Board of India, an appeal is filed before the Securities Appellate Tribunal. Usually in these cases, the Appellate Tribunal is of the view that until a final order is not out, the appeal doesn't make sense. So even if they try to contest it, it's very unlikely that they will be heard before a final order comes out. This is the kind of order where they just want the entity to stop what it is doing for now so that it can investigate, whatever it is investigating in peace, take its time, and then come out with a more elaborate order. And yes, the regulator seems to be quite keen on going the full hog on this, because if you read the order, you'll come to know that the violations are mentioned in detail, while it is also mentioned that more actions will follow.
Okay, Charu, fabulous stuff, and you've gotten the interview of the day and of the month, so thank you so much for doing that.